welcome back to the 86 It Podcast. My name is Davin Davis. Did you miss us? We certainly missed you. We're on episode 5, and today we have 2 guests on the show, Miss Julie and Miss Brittany. How are you girls doing?
Good.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Absolutely.
And thank you for letting us film in your fine establishment here. It's
no
beautiful.
problem. Thank you.
I've wanted to film this episode since our first episode. We usually delve into the restaurant business, but I knew bartenders and bar owners would have some great stories to share.
Yes.
And we're going to dive into that. But first, Julie, tell me, how long have you worked in the service industry?
So I started at Mama Carol's whenever I was 16. Ended up as manager there, and then went off to college. And then we took this place over in 2017.
Okay.
And I've been here ever since.
And you're the bar manager, correct?
Yes, I'm the bar manager, and then I'm general manager of the bowling alley as well. So
Awesome.
a little bit of everything.
And Brittany, what's your role here?
Well, I'm head bartender. Been here for about 2 years.
How are you liking it?
Love it.
Despite all the crazy things we'll talk about today.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's my home away from home,
Awesome.
for sure.
And would it be fair to say you guys are best friends?
Yes. Very much so. Very
Didn't
much
start
so.
out that way.
No.
No?
Wasn't
No.
hired on that way.
No?
But
we didn't
turned
know
into
each other.
that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just by working together?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, very much so.
And you said you started how long ago working here?
Almost exactly 2 years ago.
It'll be 2 years
And
first
before
February.
here, you've worked in restaurants before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
as you people might know, we usually talk about the things on a podcast that maybe you shouldn't talk about. Things like sex, drugs, thieves, rock and roll, all that good stuff. So, we're going to delve into that. You guys cool with that?
Yep.
Okay, well, first off, I guess let's talk about the good stuff. Why don't we start with drugs first?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
This is a bar.
Yes.
It's not the most innocent place in the world.
No.
Have you guys ever had experiences with drugs and drug users here?
Absolutely.
Yes, a lot.
You ever found drugs here?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
What kind of drugs have you found?
A couple times found some baggies of meth laying on the floor.
Meth?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just straight methamphetamines.
Always meth.
Yeah, I
This
swear.
town.
It's
You walk
always
in the
meth.
bathroom and on a Friday, Saturday night, and you'll see remnants of
Just
white powder on the counter,
Yeah.
On the counter, on the back of the toilet?
on the back of the toilet, on the counter, sink
Really
counter.
wherever is a flat surface in that bathroom.
And I'm gonna just put it out there. That's gross, guys.
Also, like, public service announcement, we know. Like, everyone here knows whenever 7 of you go to the bathroom that they're probably doing something with some white powder. Like,
Does that happen a lot? Like groups of people going? Because you have one bathroom.
we have
here.
one singular bathroom,
It's
unfortunately.
unisex bathroom.
Yes, everybody.
We get girls go to the bathroom together and
Right.
this and that, but like you start to get a pattern of
Of who's doing
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And, like, large groups will, like,
who you walk in behind and see what.
yeah.
When they come out of the bathroom, is there a lot of going
Yeah.
on? So it's pretty obvious what they're doing.
And, like, some of them, it'll be like, they wiped down the counter for us, wiped down the mirror. Like, they were trying to clean it up. But there's a lot of people just, like, leaving stuff there. I guess they just don't care that much. But
So you could say they're polite drug users.
yes, those are my
They're
favorite.
Respectful.
Like,
They're
if you're gonna do it, like, don't spend 20 minutes in the bathroom and at least wipe off the counter.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could say on occasions that if you randomly walked into your bathroom and you just ran your finger across the back of a toilet, you might find
Who knows?
sugar,
Yeah.
all kinds of white substances.
pretty sad.
Yeah, there's honestly no telling.
Wow. Have you ever caught someone like red-handed, like doing drugs here in your establishment?
Not like, well, I've had to stop people from smoking weed in
Yeah.
the back of the bar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a smoker. I own a dispensary.
You're
Higher
pro
care
420.
across from Sonic.
Yes.
But, like, so I own a dispensary. I'm pro 420. If I could smoke in my own establishment, I promise you I would. Like, I would love to be able to sit in here and light a joint. The Able Commission says that we cannot do that. Therefore,
It's illegal.
Yes,
It's illegal.
it is illegal. You
It's
cannot consume cannabis flower in an establishment that serves alcohol. That is a law by the Able Commission. Because of that, we can't let people smoke in here. And I've been sitting here before and people just light up back there by the table. And, like, I'm the first person, my nose will go up in the air. As soon as a joint, I'm like, where? Where are you? Like, I will find it. But no, they lit up back there and he just has a whole pipe. And I'm
Like a whole weed pipe?
Yes,
Glass
like a
weed
glass weed pipe. It was just sitting there smoking. I'm like, hey, man, like, not trying to be any type of way, but just go out to your vehicle, do that shit at home, whatever, but you just can't do it in here.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I thought you were cool with it. I'm like, I understand the misconception because I have a dispensary, but, just please go outside. Well, the same guy comes in, like, 3 weeks later and lights a joint. I'm not here at this point. Brittany's here.
Uh-huh.
And he tries, I'll let you tell it, but he tries to pull the whole, like, I know the owner thing. And she's the last person to pull that on.
That's a good catchphrase on the show. I know the owner.
Yes.
I heard that a lot.
I just had Christmas with the owner.
I swear to God. Like,
Well, the owner said you can't do that.
yeah, look, the
So
owner.
this guy lit a joint and you had to talk
Lit
to
a
him?
joint. I went back there. I was like, bro, you can't do that. Like, I try not to approach anybody in a dick manner, but
Right.
you can't do that. No, it's cool. I know Julie. Me and Julie go way back. I know them.
Right.
Well, bet you $10 I can call her right now, and she's gonna tell you opposite. But
You just said in a dick manner. Do you find yourself having to be more of a, for lack of a better word, a bitch towards customers?
Absolutely.
To get them to calm down?
Yes.
Absolutely. There was a guy that was coming in here for a little bit, walking around asking all my customers if they knew where to find Adderall, if they knew where to find drugs. And it's like, I finally got to a point where I was like, you just got to go. I have 5 customers in a night coming up to me saying, have you seen this guy? Have you heard him? He's coming up to everybody asking if they know where this is or that is. And it's like, now you're just being annoying, harassing people who have nothing to do with the drug scene in general.
Right.
So,
Now,
gotta go.
Of course, you don't have to name names, but is this a regular that does this?
no,
No.
this
It's just a
was
random guy.
this
Yeah,
was
we don't
just
even
a
know where he
random
went,
guy.
where he came from, anything.
He came in a couple
He
times.
probably went next door to the bowling alley.
Right, swear.
Little kids.
Yeah,
For sure.
no, we kicked him out as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Is that a common occurrence, having customers come in and just asking random patrons for drugs?
No, not too
No?
often. We keep a pretty good crowd here. We don't
Right.
really have to worry about it too much. It's more like the weekend crowd whenever there's a lot of
Randoms.
people in here,
Yes.
randoms.
Yes.
Monday through Thursday, you're going to get the same 25 people that are in here every single week.
Right.
You have people
Absolutely.
that are just staples at this bar, but you end up with the weird outside crowd that comes in, and they just sometimes will just come in and wreck house.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're losing control of the ship.
Oh, yeah, ship's going down.
Ship's going down. We
Ship's
say that a
going
lot.
down. It just puts a bad vibe for everybody because, we've got 85% of the people in the bar that just want to hang out and have
Yeah.
a good time and have a good Friday, Saturday night, enjoy the company of, everybody that's around them. But then you have these random groups of people that come in with, no regard for anybody that's here.
Or property?
Or property.
definitely not property.
And throwing ashtrays and
Throwing ashtrays. Do you have a throwing ashtray story for
oh,
us? Can you
absolutely.
tell us that story?
So we had a group of people that had pulled up in the parking lot. They'd never been here before,
Okay.
never seen them before, and they pull up in the parking lot and they do the biggest burnout. And it just fills the parking lot
They're
with
doing
smoke.
donuts.
Yes. Just fill the parking lot with smoke. Fill the bar up with smoke because we have the door open. And then they finally come inside, asked to order, and I was still going to serve them. They were not intoxicated. They were just ignorant. And
Just assholes.
Just assholes.
just
assholes.
assholes.
Yeah.
And so I was still gonna serve them, ask for IDs, and that kind of irritated them off the bat because I don't know why. There's just some people that don't like being ID'd when they come into a bar.
Which is stupid.
It blows my mind. But so that irritated them, and I called them out for what they did in the parking lot, and they got mad at me, called me out, said I had an attitude, and so I was like, all right, go somewhere else. If I got an attitude, then
So you got an attitude with them.
yep.
They
And
leave.
one of the chicks got mad because I asked them to leave, and then boom, there goes an ashtray flying behind the bar. She tried to throw it at me. It missed, but,
Yeah.
then they go out the door, and that was
Now,
it.
this ashtray, is this one of those heavy glass ones, or is it one of your black plastic
One of our
ones?
black plastic ones.
of those.
What of
Full of
these?
cigarettes and ashes at that. So, I get a dust just storm going in my face.
So cigarettes and dust went everywhere.
Yeah.
What was her method? Did she frisbee the ashtray?
Yeah, just frisbee toss it right behind the bar.
And
form,
how far
though.
did it miss your head by?
Oh, I mean, like, I'm standing right here. They were at the end of the bar, and, I mean, it hits that cabinet behind me.
Wow.
Yeah, hits cabinet, hits the ground.
We had a previous episode where a girl got ID'd. It was not her, and she got pissed off at a certain restaurant here in town and threw a beer bottle at the bartender.
Oh,
So-
shoot.
Is it only
It
girls
just-
that throw things at bartenders? Have you ever had a guy attack you?
Actually, I have had a guy, I honestly can't even remember what he got mad at. Maybe it was because I cut him off or something. But he threw a lime at me.
Like a whole lime?
Just a
slice?
slice of a lime. I was turned behind looking at the register, and I feel something hit my back. And
Oh, he got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
he hit me with the lime for sure. Of course, it's a lime, but like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And then he's out the door.
Did he run or walk fast out the door?
Well, he walked out the door, and then I noticed he took his beer out the door with him.
Got you.
And
Is that a common problem here when customers take alcohol outside? Obviously
yeah, I had to
not
chase
allowed.
him out. Yeah, I had
We
to chase
have
him
to
out,
do
ask
it
him for it.
constantly. There's a trash can by the door. There's a table by the door. Feel free to leave your drinks. But guys, like I said, we have one bathroom.
Right.
And men love to take their beer outside when they like to go piss behind the building.
And they don't like a feisty woman coming out there
Never.
telling them, hey, bring that shit back inside.
And of like the two people, like it's always us. And if I'm here, like I'm usually, here as a patron.
Right.
I'm playing darts or something, and I'm just like, okay, just a second, let me go grab this guy. And like, hey, I always try to like be cool. You don't
Be
try.
nice first.
Yes,
Yeah.
you be nice first. Like, hey
You have to.
guys, or you joke with him, like, hey man, you can't have that out here. Like, just we set it on that table right there. But sometimes people, oh, you're really not gonna let me?
No.
You're really not gonna let?
No.
No. Why would I? And like, it seems as though we get a lot of flack, especially from like men that like to take their beer outside and then like to bow up to us and hey, I'm gonna keep this, I paid for this, I'm keeping it. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're gonna throw it out and you're gonna get in your vehicle and you're gonna leave, or you're gonna go behind and you're gonna piss and you come back inside and grab your beer. Like, can we just not have this happen right now?
Do you ever explain to them, like, hey, what you're doing right now is extremely illegal?
Yes.
But they don't
Every
care.
time.
Shit.
No.
They don't care.
And like just how I explain that, I do that with people. I'm like, hey, like I don't want to be having this conversation. Like I just so you know,
Right.
I would much rather not do this. So like if you could just make my life easier, I'll make your life easier. We can both get on our way. Like this, we're gonna come to the same conclusion. So let's just get there the easy route.
So when these problems are happening in the bar, I'm not saying you two can't defend yourself.
Right.
But you're both young, small women. Do any of the males, the patrons here?
That
try
guy
to-
ended up with his head on the concrete that night.
Yeah.
The guy who threw the lime?
Yes.
The guy that threw the lime.
Yes.
Hey,
Absolutely.
another male patron attacked.
Absolutely.
For sure. You don't mess
Can
with
you
the
explain that
bartenders.
story? Like, so what happened?
So I walked out there. I chased him out the door, and I said, "Hey, you can't take your beer outside." I didn't even mention the fact that he threw the lime at me. It's a lime. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Right.
But I asked him for the beer back. He tried to argue with me about it, and then a regular patron of ours stood up to go outside just at that same time. Well, that guy ended up kind of bowing up and walking up to me.
And this patron said no.
Yeah.
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 You said put his face
He
in the-
first stepped in and said, "Hey, no, you're not going to do that." And so then I took myself inside. I'm that situation's handled. I don't have to worry
Right.
about it
You had his
anymore.
beer, you didn't care.
I had his beer.
Yep.
I did what I needed to
Yep.
do.
Oh, so you got his beer out.
Got
it
his
back
beer,
in.
but
She
yeah,
did her job.
Yeah,
Right.
But he wasn't letting the situation go, so
And then he ended up on
tried
the
to
ground.
come back in as I was walking back inside, and so then
Gotcha.
kind of
Situation got handled.
Yeah.
Was it a quick fight?
oh, absolutely
Not a fight.
one and done.
It wasn't a fight.
It wasn't a fight. It was more
Wasn't
like
a
you're
fight.
going to go to the ground,
Yeah.
and that's how that's going to happen.
You're gonna follow her inside? Nope. Okay. You're gonna go to the ground. That's what you're gonna
And
do.
when we go to like approach a situation too, like we'll do that, like kind of like look around the bar. Okay,
See
who in here has my back?
Yes.
How many of
Because
your buddies are in here?
yeah, and
There's always a handful.
and it's not even necessarily like people that you're really good friends with, but it's people that you know if they see a man bow up to a woman, they have your back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're in southern Oklahoma. There's a lot of those. Whether
Right.
y'all are friends or not, or you talk or not, there's a lot of men that will step in and help the situation. I hate that we have to do that. I wish we never had situations
sure
where
that
that
they
would
don't.
happen.
Absolutely.
But they eat it up.
They
Gosh,
love
we
it.
have so many people in here. Oh, I act as the bodyguard, or I act as the bouncer. I'm like, no, you don't. You just help out sometimes, and I appreciate your help, bud. But like,
She got her ponytail yanked one time.
I did.
Completely. He walked past her. She was sitting down. It was
this-
a braid. It was a braid.
Yeah, I had a braid. I had a side braid, and me and a friend of mine were sitting there playing darts. And this guy, he had been just kind of belligerent, kind of just like all over the bar,
Okay.
being just kind of a dick. He just happened to walk by me and just like kind of grabs my hair and just pulls the bottom of it. And I turn around. I'm like, what are
He
you?
yanked your hair.
Yeah, and it wasn't like pulling it, like being hateful, but just more of like a
Playful?
playful tug. But it was definitely unwarranted, unwanted.
I don't know
Did
you.
not. I
You've
didn't
been
know
an
this
asshole
guy.
all night.
He was some guy that was in my bar being a dick all night. I didn't.
Is this another rando?
Yeah, this
Okay.
some guy I'd never seen him before. He and a couple buddies were in here. Well, we're sitting over at that table over there, and he does that, and I turn around defensively, whatever. And the friend I was with stood up. Hey, don't touch her. Well, then that guy proceeded to call me a bitch, and my friend pushed him back and pushed him down the hallway to the bathroom. And the guy came back. Surprisingly, after looking like he got his back broke, and the guy actually came back, and then it was just like one punch. That guy hit the floor, and the goose egg on this guy's head was absolutely huge. Like my friend just like mollywopped him. I mean, just straight up in
Nice.
yes.
Shout out to your friend. if you're
Yeah,
watching.
shout out for not letting people grab my hair.
Now, we should talk about this in post, but do you have footage of any of this?
I
or
do.
Absolutely.
I do. I have footage of a lot of things that happened in this. Actually, just so everyone knows, I have footage of a lot of things that happened in this bar.
So-
don't forget that. Like,
Yes,
you're being recorded every time you're in here.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Every
that's
time,
a thing.
110% of the time.
Yes.
Well,
Everywhere.
I can't think of a better segue. So, talk about that fight. What crazy fights have happened in here? It's a bar, right? Fights have
Yeah.
happened.
We've had a few. That
People
one.
fight over the pool table all the time. They're like children, and it's like they have to get grounded from it periodically if you can't play nice with your friends and you don't get to play at all. And yeah,
We've had a deal. Very good friend of all of ours.
Shout out to Adil.
Shout out to Adil. He just always, Julie, can we please get a whiteboard? Can we please get a whiteboard? Because people would get in physical altercations about the lineup on who is playing pool next.
Right.
And I understand when alcohol's involved and, emotions are heightened, but we're playing pool, guys.
Yeah.
We're playing dollar pool at the local
It's
bar.
worth it
Can
to
we
go to
chill?
jail or prison
For
over
sure.
a fight for a game of pool.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Because we will call the cops. If you have a fight in this bar, we will call the cops. I'm not going, no ifs, ands, or buts.
And
if
if
you
a-
are inside the bar, I'm not dealing with you.
No, and if a
Shape,
fight
can.
breaks out in the bar, do not take that as a out or an excuse to try and get away with stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have had people try to steal things while other people are in the middle of fights.
Yeah.
And we've caught them red freaking handed that way.
Yeah, there was a fight happening, kind of behind the bar. Not behind the bar, but like behind where everybody's backs were. And a guy that happened to be in the fight had laid his wallet on the counter,
Front
like
and center
right
of the
there.
counter.
Right there. We have a camera facing it perfectly.
Right.
And this guy comes up and he nonchalantly puts his hands over it like this and just slips it up.
Smooth.
Smooth. He knew what he was doing. He had done it before. Super, smooth.
Yes.
Walks out the door.
Walks out the door with
Uh-huh. No, don't get me wrong. Guy ended up back with his wallet. They handled it apparently outside of this bar.
Yeah.
And-
Also,
yeah.
so the wallet that was taken was
Yeah.
a gentleman in the fight.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
after the fight, he went outside and found the guy?
So after the
No.
fight, he came to me. Hey, my
Yes.
wallet got stolen. We watched the video. He
Yeah.
knew who
the
the guy
wallet
was.
gone out of the bar.
Yes.
Off the property at that point.
Gotcha.
Yes. And the guy, I watched the video. He knew the guy in the video.
So I messaged them and I said, hey,
We know you took
we
the wallet.
saw it, and so you can, and I didn't assume or attack or anything because I wanted to get the wallet back first.
Right.
And so I just said, can you bring it back? Will you just bring it back? And, no questions asked, whatever.
And he brought it back.
He brought it back.
Brought it back.
He brought it back.
And the guy that got his wallet stolen was like, hey, because I was like, hey, we're going to ban him, like, whatever. And he's like, hey, he says it was an honest mistake. I believe him that it was an honest mistake. He said it was his wallet. I'd prefer if he didn't get banned. We play pool sometimes, whatever. Okay.
Do you believe it?
No, not at all. But honestly, at that point, I'm like, okay, well,
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do?
He has a good heart.
And the guy just doesn't come in here. The guy that stole the wallet, he just doesn't come in here that often. Like, it's one of those things where we could ban him, but the guy that got his wallet stolen didn't want us to.
Gotcha.
He's the victim in this.
Yeah.
Any other crazy fights that have happened here?
We had this group of guys, and we have a couple stories about these guys. They came in from Pennsylvania, actually, and they're like, I don't know, pipeline crew, oil field, something. And
It's
there's
pipeline or oil field.
it's always pipeline or oil field.
Yes.
And there was a day shift and a night shift, and they rotated every other week. So we'd get one crew one week and the next crew the next. They were all crazy. Every single one of them. They're fun guys, though, but crazy. And there was one of them that was at the jukebox. He was honestly minding his own business. The guy that's from here was actually the issue. He came up and said some sexual remark, basically like, you're going to suck my dick or something like that.
A gentleman.
Yeah, and this guy was probably 6 foot tall, ex-Marine, big beard, large muscles, and I'm sitting there like, oh no, why are we doing this? Can we not? And I literally stand up and say, hey, can we just not do this right now? And the guy's like, well, he's sitting here talking shit, saying I'm going to suck his dick, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, bar patron, not saying the name, hey, bar patron, why are we doing this? He's like, oh, I was just joking with him. I was like, he didn't take it as a joke.
Yeah, like he's not joking.
Well, then men, so they started to bow up at each other, and I'm like, okay, can y'all at least go outside? So they do. They happily walk outside and beat the hell out of each other. I mean, both of them have steel-toe boots on, no punches held, and they weren't, like, each one of them had friends. Friends stayed out of it. It was a one-on-one fight.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I mean,
do you have that one on camera?
I don't think I do. It was over in the bed.
I think it was before we got cameras outside,
it was
too,
before the outside cameras, probably.
I would like to see that one.
Yeah, no, they got into it. Well, then 20 minutes later, I'm looking out, because I'm monitoring the situation, making sure nothing bad is happening. I'm like, hey, y'all good? And they kind of looked at me. They're over there just talking. I'm like, okay. They're like, hey, can we come back in? I was like, nah, y'all are done for the night. There's a lot of testosterone happening right now. Let's just not. It's already 12:30. Like, go home. And they're like, really? We can't come in and have a beer together? I'm like, no, dude. Like, y'all are bloody. First of all, this is like a hazard.
Yeah.
Like, whole forehead
wounds,
slashed.
cuts.
Yes. Their hands are bloody.
And they were chilling together?
Yeah, they're big chilling.
Yeah.
So then I come in, help my bartender break down or whatever. I look, and one of their trucks is still out there. I was like, well, maybe, they got a buddy to take them home.
Yeah.
I go around the side whenever we're about to leave. They're sitting in the back of the guy's work truck with a cooler, sitting there having a beer together. I'm like,
oh, they made up.
They made up. They were buddies after that, and I'll be damned.
Beat the shit out of each other and then drank together in the parking lot because you wouldn't let them in.
Because I wouldn't let them back in.
That's awesome.
And, I look back and I'm like, I guess I could have let them back in. That would have been made for a better story. But, whatever.
No, it's pretty good one.
It is what it is.
Yeah, no, they definitely drank a couple beers
Nice.
together. Played pool the next day.
Oh, they came back?
Yeah, they both came
And they were
back.
buddies.
And they were like, hey, like, we're good. Are we good to come in here? I was like, yeah, y'all fought outside. Like, y'all didn't cause me any issues, didn't break my stuff. Y'all got your bullshit out and then left
They
and went
did
home.
what you would hope that people would do in a situation like that. If you feel like you need to, beat each other's asses over some disrespect, then go, by all means, go for it. But do it outside. Do it,
Do it not here.
do it
first of
not
all.
here.
Yeah.
Do
Anywhere
it
else.
one-on-one.
Yeah,
at
that's
that.
specifically.
And shake hands
Well,
afterwards.
That is the thing with guys. I think we all agree. Usually when guys do fight and no one's dead or gone to jail, they usually just become buddies. I've seen that happen a lot.
Yes, and they were chill. They were super
Awesome.
chill.
Has anybody ever, I'm staring at the bar right now, has anybody ever jumped over the bar and attacked a bartender or anything crazy like that?
We've never had anybody jump over the bar, but we have had a girl. So she shook her beer up and spewed it in my bartender's face. And this bartender, she was not going to let it go. She
Well,
was, no. And it was one of those things where, like, she was pissed, and I
Do you
understood.
know why she shook it up? And
Honestly, they had gotten into some words. I think the bartender that we had at the time had cut her off or something like that. Something.
another girl throwing shit.
Yeah, another girl throwing shit. And she, just shook it up and put it right in her face. And me and this bartender, we were friends. And I saw her come around the bar, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. And she just started, the girl, as soon as she saw my bartender come around the bar, she swings and grabs a hold of my bartender's hair. And she just has it, wrapped in her fingers. And my bartender's swinging. She's defending herself pretty
Right.
well. But they end up in my doorway over there. And she has my bartender's hair. My bartender ends up on top. She bites my bartender's arm. Bleeding.
Ew.
We find out the next day, we look this lady up
She has
on...
hepatitis.
I'd have
or
broke her
No,
nose,
she just
man.
got she had just gotten out of jail.
something. Oh, cool.
So we had to go get every test ran. Double check, make sure she was okay. She ended up being fine. It was just a gnarly bruise and had a bunch of hair ripped out. But and my bartender, she handled herself. She did everything she could. But that girl, she was playing dirty.
Yeah.
Just bit the hell out of
Spewing beer
her.
in the face, biting,
Yeah,
hair
yeah.
pulling, I'm assuming.
All
good
that
stuff.
good
All the
girly fighting
Yeah.
drama. Yeah.
All the cat fights.
Yeah, for sure.
We've talked. You just said we talked a lot about guys fighting and those two girls. Any other girl fights you can think of?
Girl fights are always just a lot of yelling and clapping.
Like
that
Barefoot
just-
Bandit.
Oh, God. Oh,
Bare-
I forgot about that.
Barefoot
Yeah.
Bandit?
The
Yeah.
Barefoot Bandit.
Is this a
A customer, a semi-regular customer.
Yeah,
not
she's-
so much regular.
Okay.
Anymore. But
Go ahead.
she just.
She likes to start a lot. She likes to instigate, and
Yes.
their fights.
She likes to make people feel uncomfortable. And
Okay.
there was one night that I honestly couldn't even tell you what the drama was that was going on, but it started some fights in here, and it ended up kind of stemming from the Barefoot Bandit. And that was actually the night that I got up on the bar, because it was Tuesday night, and
I was here for
You
this.
were
I
here
was.
that
Yes,
night.
you were here.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just got fed up with it. I'm like, we're probably about 15 people deep. It's not that busy of a night. And
There's
y'all,
no reason for fights.
yeah, y'all
Yeah.
are gonna start
None.
this after midnight on a Tuesday. So I didn't get up on the bar, but I kind of got on my knees on the cooler and was like, seriously, y'all, it's a fucking Tuesday. Can we chill? Can we just
You fight on a Friday.
on
Yeah.
a Friday or a
Right.
Saturday?
When we have
damn it.
extra help,
Yeah.
and Julie's here, and I don't
Yeah.
have to deal with
Oh
this
my
bullshit.
God.
Go away.
Now, if I remember correctly, they didn't end up fighting.
No, they did
Okay.
not
It
end
was
up
just a lot of
fighting.
talk.
It was a lot of just back and forth. And now that's what, because of situations like that, that's what has gotten me to the point where as soon as I hear people going back and forth over, I don't care what it's over. I don't give a shit. The light switch goes on, and if it doesn't stop, guess what? I'm calling last call. Everybody can get the fuck out. We're not,
So everybody gets punished for.
everybody gets
Two
punished.
assholes.
If it,
for
if
two
it
fucking
gets too
assholes.
rowdy, yeah.
Yeah.
If it gets too
If
rowdy,
it doesn't stop after the initial,
warning?
yes, I will give you so many warnings. I will put up with so much, and I will let people, I will let people push the envelope. But it's because I want people to come back. I want them to enjoy themselves. I want them to have a good time, and I want them to always feel welcome here. But have respect for everybody else.
And
course.
have respect for us. Like we're at work, or we're just here on our off time trying to just have a good time.
We don't deserve to put
We
up with
don't.
that shit.
We just don't want to, man.
We're
Like,
just trying to get you
We're at
all
work.
buzzed up and have a good time.
Right.
That's all we want. We want y'all to have a good time. But if that light goes on and y'all don't want to chill out,
I came here one night as a customer. I had a few Kool-Aids. And one of your bartenders, I'm not going to name in case she doesn't want me to, but apparently there was like some talk in the air of a fight breaking out. And she cut on the lights, stood right over there, and announced to the bar, just so you know,
Yep.
if there's a fight, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
Y'all know who
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that a common thing you have to do?
Absolutely. I have threatened that the cops are on their way.
we say that all the time. The cops,
Cops
are
are
on
coming.
their way because
Cops
we're
are coming.
not.
Prove
dealing
me
with it.
wrong that they're not coming for one.
Right.
You don't know
'Cause
if
we
I
call them
or
real
not.
quick.
I
Right.
have to call them all the time. So prove me wrong.
They
that
know
I didn't
us.
Call. Cops are on their way. Leave. Get out. We don't We don't want the drama.
We also get a lot, like, we'll go up whenever a situation's starting and be like, hey, guys, if y'all just go to separate corners of the bar. Like, y'all don't have
Time
to
out.
interact. Go time out. Y'all are acting like children.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an adult daycare. We don't get paid enough for that. Go away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and people will... Well, what are you going to do? You're going to kick me out? You're really going to kick me out? Yes, I am going to kick. And, like, I just get so exhausted. I've been doing this for too long now.
Mm-hmm.
I just get so exhausted with people. And I'll just be like, yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm kicking you out. And if you don't listen to me, I'm going to have look around. Cool. These 3 regulars are going to make sure that you leave. And
Yeah.
then I'm also going to call the cops. So whenever you decide to not get off my property, Chickasha PD is going to be the one that handles it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with this. Let's be real. You don't want to go to jail. So can we just come
Well, I
to a
was gonna
common
say-
understanding?
Most of the time, these drunk assholes, they don't really care if you call the cops.
No, not really.
They just,
It scares
Not
them.
really.
It scares them enough to where they scatter. And
Gotcha.
that's all we want.
The last time I called the cops, I had 3 fights in here in one night.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Like-
that happens.
Had to call the cops twice.
were
Yeah.
these fights like hours apart?
Boom,
or-
boom, boom.
Yeah.
Chain reaction.
We're
Yes.
saying within
Chain
like an
reaction.
hour and a half
Was-
of each other.
Was
Yes.
one person involved in 3 fights, or was it just...
It was groups
Actually,
of
yes,
people.
yes, the yes, and yeah,
Okay.
yeah. One person was involved in all, but then his group was involved in the latter.
Gotcha.
If that
okay.
makes sense.
So, out of all these fights that happen here, does anything like, and when I say crazy, I'm about to say crazy, do weapons get involved? Are there knives? Are there guns? You ever had to deal with situations like
I
that?
had a customer, a lady, run in one time yelling at me, "Call the cops! Call the cops! He's trying to run people over."
I forgot about
Somebody that I had cut off and kicked out
that.
had, because he showed up, I'm pretty sure he showed up intoxicated anyways, and so I just wouldn't serve him, and he just was angry, and it was just a whole ordeal, so I made him leave. And then the next thing I know, I have people running inside because he's doing donuts in the parking lot trying to run people over, and he actually ended up wrecking his car, his vehicle, totaling his vehicle
In the parking lot?
No,
No.
on his way home in a field, on like as he was headed home.
Yeah, and he
'Cause-
had an active warrant for his arrest,
Yes,
too.
because the
Yeah.
cops had came here to
Yep,
talk to me
that
the
was
next
another
day,
thing. Active warrant.
and I was clear because I hadn't served him anything.
Yeah, he got drunk elsewhere.
He got drunk elsewhere, so I did my job. I
Okay,
didn't serve him.
good job.
And he wrecked and totaled his car.
He shows up here drunk.
Yep.
You don't serve him.
Correct.
Yep.
He does he goes to the parking lot, does donuts, and tries to hit people.
Correct.
And then drives home, gets in a wreck,
Correct.
and goes to jail.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, because they
Awesome.
found his.
Good
'cause
job, buddy.
They found his vehicle out because he wrecked his vehicle and then walked home.
Yeah.
They found him walking along the
No,
road.
they found his vehicle.
Oh, and then they...
And
Yes.
then they went in.
Gotcha.
And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they came in here wanting to know how much we served him. Not a thing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Did they ask to check the cameras? or
No,
anything?
they usually don't.
They just took
They'll-
your word?
Yeah, they'll take our word and they're like, hey, can we see your tabs?
Gotcha.
See if he had a tab.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those things where I really do my best with law enforcement. If they want to see the video, see the
Have at
video.
it.
We're not doing anything. It's more of just a pain in the ass
Uh-huh.
than anything.
Yeah.
You know, making time, coming down here, them being down here at the same time as me, watching the video, going through it.
Right.
You know, it's more of a pain in the ass than anything. But I always, if they need it, the cops need it, I'll give it to them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, that guy had a crazy night.
Yeah.
What about knives, guns, and stabbings, shootings,
We
anything like that
had
happen?
one fight going on in here, and a guy that I've known literally my
Oh,
whole
when he
life.
handed me
yeah,
his knife.
He knows himself.
Yep.
He knows his limitations. He knows
He
whenever
knows how crazy he can be.
he can
if
be
pushed.
nuts. If pushed, he'll pull a knife.
Okay.
You know, so he actually had a knife on him, and he puts it on the counter and said, "Brittany, take that," and
Yep.
then turns around and gets in the fight.
Yep.
Now,
and you hear that.
Oh, he
Across the bar.
smashed that guy, and it was so,
warranted.
Oh yeah, it was warranted, but it was so loud. I mean, it echoed. Everybody turned. Not that everybody wasn't watching the fight
Right.
already, but I mean, and he's a smaller guy, and he came out of nowhere. He's like, "Brittany, hold my knife." Boom, and
I
just
said, "Thank you,
yeah, we were all like, "Cool, that ended the fight. We don't have to do anything now."
thank
now,
you,
and
man."
when you say knife, do you mean like a
like a
pocket
buck knife,
or
like a buck
fucking-
knife, like
Buck
a
knife.
like a buck
Okay.
knife, like on
Yeah.
your hip,
That's not a
like
knife, like a big ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And any gun related stories?
We have to tell people a lot, like, "Hey,
Hey, you can't have that in here."
in here," but that's it, and not really.
anybody I've had to ask to take their weapon outside has been nothing but
Yeah.
respectful about it.
'Cause
Always.
it is
It's
correct
the
me if
law.
I'm wrong, it's illegal.
It's
Correct.
the law. You cannot. If I see a weapon if I see you have a handgun on your person, I cannot serve you alcohol.
Right. And you can't be in here.
And you can't be in here because what if you bring something like that around some intoxicated people?
Right.
You don't know.
It's a shit show.
You don't know.
Yeah.
It's asking
We've already
for
got a
it.
bullet hole in the back of our
Literally.
in the back of our bar.
Wait, so someone has shot at this person?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that yes,
It was after we were closed.
Yes.
But a guy, he was arrested for methamphetamine. So I'm just going to assume that he
Again,
was high.
meth.
Yeah.
put that out there. He was messing around.
Yeah, he was messing around.
Yeah.
He got a little methy.
He got a little methy.
He was walking down this service road right here, and he said, quote unquote, they were doing bad stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one here. Lights were off. No cars in the parking lot.
He just saw
So
the
he
shadow
was
people in here.
hallucinating?
hanging out.
Yeah, the shadow people got to him.
Gotcha.
And he came up to the door, point blank, shot it. And so the police pick this man up on the side of the road. You know, he gets arrested, and he's telling them that he shot at a building. So they couldn't figure out where it was. Well, the next day, it was a Sunday, we came in, and we had a big broken piece on our glass
shot through the
door.
front door.
Yeah, shot
We
through
were
the front
like,
door.
wait, there's a bullet hole
Yeah.
in our front door.
Exactly.
What the hell?
And he shot all the way to the back?
And so there's
The
a
hole is still back there.
Yeah, there's a hole. The bullet's still in the wall, too. So we have a metal wall on the outside of the building,
Okay.
and so it goes through.
You can see the indention.
Yeah, you can see the bullet hole down there, and on the back wall, you can see the dent. So the bullet's still in the wall. It didn't go all the way
we need to
through.
remember to get that. If we could
Yeah.
shoot that on camera, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
It's-
God no one was here either.
No.
Yeah, no, thank
No,
God. It
no,
was like
yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I
Except for the
can't-
shadow people.
Yeah, the shadow people were
I
for
can't
sure
tell
here.
you how many times myself or somebody else has been in this bar still for 5 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
still cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
And so I mean, it
It's a little
was
terrifying.
yeah,
Very
it was
much so.
it was another bartender that was working that night.
Mm-hmm.
She that doesn't work here anymore, but she was lucky that she was not here that night.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
had she been
absolutely.
cleaning a booth, a table,
Who knows?
Wow.
that could have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was so
definitely.
bad.
Well, we've talked a lot about fights, drugs, everyone's favorite topic. We'll move on if it's okay with you girls. Sex.
Yeah.
Now, I know you two personally.
Yeah.
You've told me a couple stories. Tell us, when I say the word sex, what's the first story that comes to your mind related to this place?
That whenever you go to the bathroom to have sex, we all also know that you're doing that. So, like, just don't go to the bathroom to do, like, your secret things. We all
People are
know
having
what's
sex
happening.
in your bathroom.
Yes, actively.
And
like,
behind the bars.
And, oh, yeah, that's also a thing.
And behind the bars. I was not here for that.
No, she did not work here yet, but
I'm not that
we did have a
bartender.
bartender one time after her shift. I don't know if she just assumed the cameras didn't work
Or if they just
or if
turned
she just
off at a
didn't
certain
care.
time.
I don't really know
So you had cameras at the time,
for sure.
and she knew they were there.
Yeah, she knows. Like, you can see most of our cameras. Oh, there's a lot of them you can't see too,
Right.
but like a lot of them are pretty blatant, and one of them was right above them, and she had to have thought they didn't work. It's the only thing. But literally, just having sex laying down behind the bar. We had to bleach the whole thing
She was laying on the floor?
on the floor of the bar. How desperate you got to be
That hurt
to
my
get
tailbone.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
Like, that is not. But yeah, no.
Yikes.
Having sex
Did
on the
you-
floor.
did
Had
you-
to fire her, yes.
fired her?
Yes, of course I fired her. Are you
Yes.
kidding me? Like,
Do you have footage of this?
Okay, listen. I'm sure it
For
exists
legal
for legal
reasons.
purposes. I'm gonna
Not that
say
I'm
no.
interested.
No, right.
We'll talk about
no
it.
bar porn. Okay,
Yeah, no bar porn.
I got it.
Wow, so you had an employee have sex on the
Yes,
floor
yes.
right where we're sitting?
Little, yeah,
Ish.
yeah,
Little further?
yeah, pretty
Ish.
much.
Cool.
Right there,
Very
Davin.
cool.
Well, definitely more your way than our way.
Awesome. Great.
You feel uncomfortable? A lot of bleach. Lots and lots of bleach.
Lots of bleach.
Lots of bleach. And you said in the bathroom too.
Oh yeah, and
So,
like.
so people are going to your bathroom to do cocaine and then have sex. That's
Yeah,
right.
apparently.
Drug,
Fuck.
sex, and rock and roll.
Oh, yeah,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure, for
have
sure.
You, so have you caught anyone in the bathroom having sex?
Not visually, but like
you've
definitely
heard.
like go
You-
pound on the door and like, hey guys, like at least hurry.
Right.
Like,
Quickie.
You
we got
know.
one bathroom.
Right.
You know, when you see
Ugh.
two people walk out of the bathroom, you can pretty much put them in column A or column B of if they were doing coke or if they were having sex.
Or like the small sliver of a column that they actually just went in there to pee together to save time.
Yes, because I mean,
We do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and as a bartender,
that.
if I take a break to go to the bathroom, I've had several chicks running behind me. Can I come in with you?
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever, that's fine. I'm leaving as soon as I'm done, whether you're still peeing or not. But I'm out of here.
The one time I went in there and a couple people, I'm not going to say they were like friends of mine at the time, but just
Okay.
people that I know, whatever. They're girls that come in the bar. We're close enough. It was like, hey, I'm going to come in there too. Cool, whatever. This girl pulls down her pants and starts pissing in my sink. In my sink.
Don't
and I'm like,
pee in the sink.
no. You can piss in the toilet. Oh, wait.
Yes, don't pee in the
Wait,
sink.
You were pissing in the
I was
toilet?
peeing.
And she came.
And she was like, pulls down her pants to get up there.
Does she know you're the bar manager?
Yes, fully aware. Fully aware. And I'm like, hey, I'll be done in like 2 seconds. Like,
Was it like an emergency?
I don't,
She had a-
I don't know, but I was like, do you do that often? She's like, I've done it a couple times. I'm like, yeah, don't
Don't pee
do
in the
that,
sink.
please. Can we not pee in
Yeah.
my sink?
Gosh, it's so gross.
Like the,
or
no.
pee in the booths of the
Don't
freaking.
pee in my boots, please.
People have peed in your boots.
Okay,
Absolutely.
like
dick out,
urine.
pissing on the...
No, just urinated all over themselves because they decided not to get up. And these are people that we know, we love, whatever. But they came in and they sat here and got intoxicated, and
They were
they're having a good time. They weren't even like super. I mean, honestly, they weren't even super drunk.
Yeah, it
There's
wasn't like
no
stumbling
excuse.
around. Like,
No.
yeah, they could have gone up.
They could have
gone to
gotten
the bathroom
up for sure.
You know,
and
like
they were laughing a lot, and so like I understand.
you've had a lot to drink.
Yeah.
You get to where you're laughing and you can't control it.
But so the woman, they're sitting at a table of 4, and the woman, of the couple, she pees herself.
This
And-
is a couple.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
both of them peed themselves in my bar on the
yes,
same night.
Yes.
The man and the woman, the same
Yes.
couple, pissed together.
Yes.
Fucking couple goals right
if
there.
you piss together, you stay together.
You stay together. That's it.
Are they still together?
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Every
I mean,
story has a happy ending. I
happy
guess.
ending. Yeah. No, but they both pissed at my
How
booth
did y'all find out they pissed?
because the people that were with him were like, "Did you piss in the fucking booth?"
They announced it?
Yes. Oh, very much so. Very much so. We're like,
That's awesome.
bro, we need like biohazard over here.
Bleach everywhere.
Bleach everything. And as bad as this is, it's not our only pissing story or
No.
defecating story.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to the defecating. I want so another piss story. What do you
Okay,
got?
so we have this guy. He's older man, you know, probably in his 60s. Comes in just like a Carhartt work shirt, jeans. He gets kind of drunk, but we definitely think he's probably, like, we had to cut him off. He's probably on something else.
Okay.
We don't really know because what he had didn't justify how
No.
intoxicated he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, he's sitting at the back corner of the bar over there, and he's just sitting there, and he starts to pull his pants down, and everybody back there is playing pool. Is like, hey, no, you can't be doing that.
The customer.
You know, yeah, they're like, no. And they're like, hey,
Chance gave a
he's
pull.
he's taking his pants down. Well, instead of, he doesn't pull anything out.
Yeah.
But he just starts pissing all over himself. All over himself, leaned up against the chair, just all down his legs.
And I don't know if some people get hit with a brief like shot of dementia for a minute, and
Something.
like they just are. It makes no sense to me why this happens.
Yeah, and he was just, I mean, and they let us know, so hey man, like, can we get you a ride home? Can we call somebody? And I don't know where I live. I don't know if I drove here. We don't know this guy. And typically, like, we know people, you
Yeah.
know, or we
Yeah.
know
Right,
the
this is a
people's
small
people.
town.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
small town, 16,000
Yes.
people. We know everybody.
Right.
We had no idea who this guy was. And so we get him, like, outside, get his cell phone out, start, like, kind of trying to get a passcode put in. He didn't know his passcode. So we're over there talking about, like, okay, what do we do? And it's me and, at the time, it was our bowling alley manager and our bowling alley mechanic. And we're outside. We're like, what do we do? Well, he goes to get in his vehicle and drive.
Cool.
Yeah, we
No,
see
no,
the
no,
truck
no.
turn on, and one of our league bowlers came out like a freaking superhero and ran out to his truck and jumps through the window, grabs this guy's keys, throws it in park. He's like, you're not leaving.
Awesome.
And he throws me the keys. I'm like, cool. And we walk up to him like, do you know where you live? And he's like, yeah, it's just right outside of town. And I was like, we wouldn't mind taking you home if you can get us there. Tweak drove his vehicle. Tweak's my bowling alley mechanic.
Shout out to Tweak.
Yeah, shout out to Tweak. He drove the guy's truck. This man did not live right outside of town. He lived damn near to Chickasha Lake. So Tweak's in the middle of bowling while he's doing this too. So he's in the middle of just having his night off bowling league.
Right.
And I'm like, hey man, so sorry.
Need
but
your
your
help.
salary and I need your help. So you got to take this dude home for me.
Oh.
And so I follow him in my truck. And we're taking this dude and I'm like, man, he lives out here. Man, he lives way out there. We are on dirt roads, middle of nowhere. Okay, we're getting way out here. Man, I think this guy got us lost. Nope. We come over this hill to this huge gate. And he's like, oh, I don't remember my code, but I'm sure one of these buttons does it. And he starts pushing buttons in his truck. The gate opens. We come over this big old hill to this 2-story log cabin. There's skidsters and bulldozers everywhere. There's a Benz in the
dude's
driveway. This dude is loaded. Freaking loaded. And he just stumbles out of his truck, goes inside.
Never see him
Never
again.
see him again.
That was-
Did he tip you for the ride
Nope,
home?
didn't tip me for the ride home. I thought
I've
about
given
it.
several drunk people rides home. They usually
yeah.
tip. And this
Yeah.
loaded guy didn't give you anything.
Yeah, no.
Bummer.
And he pissed all over himself, and we
Yeah.
had to deal with that. That was annoying.
Damn it. I'm sorry.
It's one of those things, like, you don't expect to have to take people home. It's definitely not technically our job to get you home. Like, if you get drunk at our bar, it is not our job to get you home.
It's not.
Figure it out.
But
We're not going to send you out the door.
No, I will never send you out the door with no way home. And one of my biggest things that I ask is before I hand over another drink to somebody who's like,
On the
riding
edge.
that line. I'm
Right.
like, are you driving? Are you driving? Do you have a ride home?
Yeah.
Because
We would hate
I always want
if
somebody to
something
make it
happened.
safe.
Yeah, if
Right.
something happened leaving here. So we try to make sure, like, do you have somebody coming to get you? Do you have a DD? Are you driving?
I for sure have regulars though that will come in on certain nights and they know that they can get
People you know and trust.
yes,
There's just
and
people that you know you're taking them home. When they come in
Yes.
and they start drinking, you're like, cool, add
I
that
know
to my
at the
task
end of the
tonight.
night you're
yeah.
gonna be here when I close and I'm gonna take you home.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've worked in the restaurant business for a while. I've taken several drunk customers that were abandoned by their friends.
Yes.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Quit getting your friends drunk and then expecting
leaving them.
other people
Please.
to be responsible for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've had people left in their car saying that, well, they could just sleep it off. No, you were the one buying them shots all night. You were the one getting them intoxicated, so you are the one that should be responsible for them.
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely. Well, great piss stories. Let's move on to the shit stories.
Oh,
Because
great.
you said you had some.
We do. We had this guy, and we found out who it is after the fact, just because, like, we wanted to know who did this. So it's like one of those things you go back, you see, kind of figure out the time frame, look at the video, who went in the bathroom. We weren't that busy. It was a Sunday afternoon. So it's not that busy. You can't
Right.
really hide it.
You can pinpoint who did it.
Yeah. Dude's back there playing pool, and I guess he has an accident because he goes to the bathroom. We see it on the camera where he went to the bathroom. Well, about an hour after this, somebody goes in there and is like, hey, your bathroom smells like shit. And we're like, okay, it's a bathroom, but okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's bad. And so my bartender goes in there, and she looks in the trash can, and there's underwear, tighty-whities underwear,
Oh, he
full of shit. He shit himself in the middle of the bar.
Yeah.
And not only did he shit himself, he didn't just, like, take down his underwear. He cut them off. You can see where he, like, took a pocket knife or something. And for this guy, he'd definitely have a pocket knife. And just, like, cut the side of them.
What?
Yeah, he cut his underwear
Why
off
did he
both
cut
sides.
it?
I don't know. Maybe not smear it down him. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I guess that would make sense.
I wasn't in the bathroom. I have no clue. But he
So
cut.
nasty.
Just
He didn't want to
slit-
smear it down his leg, so he just cut. Did he cut it to where it
Both
plopped,
sides.
It plopped on the ground?
I guess. But yeah, no, and just put it in the trash can. This man did not leave.
He continued to play pool.
Continued to play pool. He had to finish his game of pool. He
Yep.
left after his game, but he finished his game of pool.
Did he? Now, I know he left his underwear in the
Yeah.
bathroom. Did he still stink afterwards?
You know,
complaints?
no complaints. I wasn't really back there to
Yeah.
know, but
Who was the poor soul that had to clean that up?
it was already in the trash can, so it
Yeah,
wasn't
so he
that
cleaned
big.
himself up.
Yeah, like there wasn't any shit on the ground. Like
Okay.
at least he was reasonable about it. He just
Yeah.
shit himself and took care of it. But yeah, no, cut them off with a pocket knife.
He was as clean as you can be about
shitting yourself.
pants. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Wow. Great stories, by the way. Let's see. We've talked about sex, drugs, shit, and piss. The glorious lifestyle of working in a bar.
Disgusting.
You're both girls.
Yeah.
I'm sure you run into this all the time. Creepers, perverts, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any stories about them?
We have a few. We have this one guy that we had to kick out because he'd come in here and, like, we're a social place. You come here to be around people.
Right.
Even if you want to be alone, you're at least surrounded by people. So he'd sit at the bar by himself, drink a Coke, and sit there and just kind of take in the bar. Look around, watch people playing darts, watch people playing pool. At first, we didn't think anything of it. You know, he wasn't
People
being...
watching.
Yeah. He wasn't being super weird. He was just kind of sitting over in the corner or whatever.
Okay.
We get people like that sometimes, old men, whatever. Well, he started coming in pretty once a week, twice a week-ish, and please note, this man stunk to
Yes.
high heaven.
On a daily basis, just smelled
terrible.
like...
Each time he came in, he stunk.
Yes,
Yes.
like literal shit.
Actual
like
shit.
just actual literal shit.
And
Probably
just-
shit himself, too.
Probably, and he's just dirty. Just
Okay.
nasty. And you smelled him whenever he walked in the door.
You could tell he just didn't keep up with his hygiene.
No, not at all. And so he's already like just a mild nuisance.
Right.
You know, not really, we're making no money off of it. We're just serving him a Coke, charging $1. You know, it's one of those things where
Right.
you're not making money. He's already coming in stinky. Okay, keep the eye out. But this guy would sit here and these girls were over there playing darts or dance. They were doing something. They're all a group of girls. And he sat back and he turned around and was just watching them and put his hand in his pocket and just started moving his hand in his pocket. And
Trying to find his keys.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he was
For
doing.
a long time.
But not even for that long. Like, he did it for a minute. And like I said, we don't notice this as it's happening. You see it on the video after.
Right.
So he's doing this, and then he gets up, goes to the bathroom for about 20 minutes. Yeah. And then comes out and is just out of breath. Just huffing him. I'm just like, what the?
Because he walked with a walker.
Oh, yeah. I had a walker, too.
Most of, when he
Yeah.
when he would walk through the door, he would have his walker, and he would walk with his walker. to his
Yes,
seat.
that was also a thing that happened.
So,
Yeah.
he walkered to the bathroom.
Yes, walkered to the bathroom and walkered back about 20
And he
minutes
came
later.
out heavy breathing.
Yeah. Just like super exhausted. And I'm like, okay, dude.
Comes
And then-
out smoking a cigarette.
Right. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
No. So he comes back and and I'm like, hey man, like, it's weird. You're sitting here watching people. You need to just like,
Asking weird questions. 'Cause
Yeah.
he would like ask me questions
Sexual
where
nature?
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'd be like, I'd have to answer him like, that's none of your business. Like, I'd appreciate
That-
if you didn't ask me that kind of shit.
Not to be crude, but
Mm-hmm.
can you maybe give one example or something?
Well, he
you
would
asked?
ask me if I was married, if I was single, if I was dating anybody. Well, if you're not dating anybody, like, are you hooking up with people in the bar? And like, it's just like, that's none of your
The
business.
stinky guy was asking you?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that's,
Yes.
so whenever I actually like kind of walked up, I'm like, hey man, like what's going on? Why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not that many people
What are
in the
your
bar. What are
intentions?
your
Right.
intentions here?
You're not drinking.
And he was like, well, I can be wherever I want.
Mm.
Incorrect. I don't pull that card. I don't like to pull the, if I say you can't be here, you can't be here
Right.
card.
I bet he knew the owner.
But I bet he knew the owner, right? But he just, well, I'll be here if I want to be here. And I'm like, hey man, like, I understand we're a public place, but like, you're creeping these girls out over here. Can you just not? And he just started, well, I'm not some old perv. I'm not some old perv. I'm not sitting there, grabbing my junk.
Feeling defensive.
And I'm like,
about something?
okay, didn't say that, but all right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not grabbing your junk.
I didn't just go to
And
the
I-
bathroom for 20 minutes and jerk off.
Right. And I'm like, sir, I'm just going to ask you to leave. And he's like, well, I'm not leaving. I said, that was the wrong answer. I'm going to ask you again. You need to go ahead and go. And at this point, one of my bartenders, her husband, Avery, shout out to Avery.
What's up, Avery?
Appreciate you, bud.
He walks up right behind me. He's like, sir, listen, Julie said you got to go. You got to go. That's the rules. That's how it goes. And he kind of gets a little shitty with Avery. And Avery's not somebody to get shitty with. He's a great, respectful dude.
Yeah, very nice man.
Very, very nice man. But he also has our back. Like, he's not going to, like, let somebody talk down
He's
to
not,
us.
Yeah, he's not going to let any of us girls be disrespected
No,
or
not
put
at
in harm's
all.
way at all.
And his I don't think he would mind me saying that his wife works here.
Yes,
yes,
So
yeah.
he's going to be super protective.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. And he's protective of all of us too.
Yes.
It's not just her.
Right.
Yes.
You know, he really looks at all of us as just like a family. I mean, we try to treat everybody like we're one
Right.
big family, and he's definitely part of that. Well, he kind of helps get him along out the door. Well, it's pretty late in the night at this point, and this guy is just sitting out in his
car.
vehicle waiting. Just waiting on us, I guess.
So after he got kicked out, he waited in the parking lot?
He sat in the parking lot.
And that's not like the first time that he like had been, because there would be nights where he had came in and drank his 2 Cokes and then left, but then
And not jacked off in the bathroom.
Yeah, not jacked off in the bathroom. And it would be about 2
normal
hours
nights.
after he walked out of the door. I'd be almost to the point where I'm closing, and there I have some customer walk back in saying, "Hey, that dude's still out in his car."
So then
And he's
we're
still
all like, okay, we
sitting out
can't
there.
leave.
Well, wait a minute. So between the time you kicked him out and him waiting in the park, was he there a long time?
I would say it was probably about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where, like, at this point, there's just a few of us in the bar. It's like me, Avery, a couple other people. And it's like, we're not worried about it. You know what I mean? He's not a threat, but
Yeah.
also leave.
Right.
And
He
so-
walks with a walker,
Yeah.
and he's a big dude, big dude, and
Fat.
yes,
Yeah.
I'll run. I will run
He's a
from
big man.
you before anything happens.
Right.
I'm
I will
not
kick
scared,
your feet out so
but
quick. Don't care.
You're also being creepy.
Yeah. And so,
This guy sounds like a pretty extreme case. Are there other cases maybe less extreme than...
we have guys that will just, like, come in here because they know it's where their ex hangs out.
Or they'll come in with their wife one
Yeah.
time, or their girlfriend one time, and then their wife the next, and like.
Okay, that's something I do want to talk about. We didn't really plan for, but
No.
me personally as a customer, when I come here, I see this all the time, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys more than me.
Oh, yeah.
Where people who have husband and wives
Yeah.
and people that have boyfriends and girlfriends
Yeah.
come in with other people.
Yes.
all
Or
the
not
time.
their husband and
Yes.
wife.
All the time.
Is that a common occurrence?
All the time.
Like, I would say literally once a day.
And they,
that often?
Yeah.
and they appreciate our
Discretion.
discretion.
I've been
Absolutely.
tipped before, actually. So, guy,
They've paid you to not say anything?
Yes.
listen, I'm just a homie. Like, it's just not my business.
It's not our
It's not our
business.
business.
It's not.
I'm here to serve you alcohol and get money. That's it.
My
Right.
name's
I don't really
Bennett. I ain't in it. Her name's Paul. That's between y'all.
Yep, we don't mess with it. That's what
Right.
we've always
That's how
said.
we-
We don't mess
Have
with
you,
it.
have you ever had a husband or wife come in like, did you see my...
Yes.
Yes.
Happened?
Or call up here. Is
Yeah.
so and so there? And
I don't know people's
What do you-
names.
what do you-
I don't know. Yeah.
What 3-letter agency do you work for?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
I-
you keep 100%.
Discretion.
Absolutely.
No. And that guy, like, he
I
comes
don't
in
give
one
out
night.
information.
No.
Of who's in this bar?
Nor should you.
Unless
And-
you are.
Also,
Props.
please know, our bar does not have a bar Snapchat where we're like posting pictures on the bar and posting videos.
Right.
That is something that, like, I don't know. People have asked me, why don't you get a bar Snapchat? You can see what's happening.
No.
No.
My patrons specifically, especially the ones that we see every day and
If they
come
want,
in with their girlfriends.
If they want it known that they're here, they'll let it be known that they're here.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not going to put them in the position to be called out by somebody, by somebody else for
Right.
seeing them,
Also,
or,
we just don't want to be involved.
I don't
Quite
know.
frankly, because
None of
like
my business.
this is our job. It's
Yeah.
not our personal life,
And
and
you don't control what they do.
we don't
No.
control what they do. And also, we just don't care.
No.
We have such lack of caring about people's personal lives when we're behind this
Yes,
bar.
you do what you do.
You see what you see, and
Whatever
you kind of
tickles your
giggle at it
pickle.
later and
So
call
what-
it a day.
What I'm hearing is you support home wreckers.
No, yes, for sure.
I'm just
10
kidding.
for
I
fucking
support
10.
minding my business.
There you
Yes,
go.
that's it.
There
I
you go.
support not talking shit about people and starting stuff.
That's awesome. That's the right attitude.
And just discretion. Like, people should be able to come somewhere like this
They should
socially
feel
and have a good time
comfortable.
and
cheat on their wife.
cheat on their wives and husbands if they want to.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's just not my business. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
It's just another drama issue.
It's
to get
just,
involved
and the
in.
thing is like, I just don't want to be involved personally. This is my job. I
Right.
try to keep them super
I don't
separate.
want somebody's wife thinking that they can come busting through these doors going, you didn't kick my husband out for this, or you didn't
No.
stop this from happening. No, I didn't, because, like, that's not my place. That's not my not
Right.
And
not
people
my
like to say
business.
that, like, we enable it, like, we enable home wrecking. Like, no, but if a guy comes in here one night with his wife and comes in the next night with his girlfriend, that's not my
And
business.
hey, who's to say it does happen? Who's to
All the
say
time.
that, like, he's married to his wife and the wife knows about the girlfriend?
It happens.
It happens.
That is for
Yes.
sure
It
a
does
thing.
Yes, that is
100%.
absolutely something
And
that
that's
happened. We
also
have,
none of our business.
Right.
yeah.
And, like, I had a guy one night come in with his girlfriend, next night come in with his wife.
And he tipped you?
$150 and literally handed it to me, a $150 bill, and said, "Thank you for your discretion." And I said, "Yes, sir, no problem. Put that
Nice.
shit in my pocket and call it a day."
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, not my business. I just don't care.
Right. Wow.
Do you want your
I've
Bud Light
got
or
my
no?
own life.
I
and
swear, I
business
got my own
pertain
shit show to deal
so-
with.
Well, time has kind of flown by here. This has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to start closing it down soon.
Okay.
We've pretty much covered a lot: fights, drugs, sex, rock and roll. Are there any pet peeves you probably want to tell our audience if you come to this bar or if you go to any bar? Is there something that
Quit asking if your minor friends can come in here.
Yes.
Sorry.
if they're underage friends?
Yes.
That happens a lot?
All the time.
Yes.
And some bars let it happen. We understand that.
Yes.
We're not the one.
So how does that conversation go down? Do they just
Hey,
walk
can
up like,
so and so
hey,
come in here?
Yes.
No.
Hey, this person is has a friend that's a DD that's driving them home. Do you care if they come in and wait with them until they're ready to go? Do you care if they come in and chill? Are they 21? No. Then no. They can wait out in the freaking parking lot.
How often does this occur?
This just happened
Once,
the other
twice
night.
a week.
Once or twice a week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually had a customer who walked up to me, said, "Hey, my daughter and her boyfriend are gonna come in here. The boyfriend is 21, the boyfriend or my daughter's 21, but I don't know how old the boyfriend is, or the other way around." And I said, "No, they can't come in. I'm sorry."
And they got pissed?
They didn't get pissed. They said okay. And then about an hour goes by. I look back in the back because I was either in the bathroom, probably had my back turned, so I didn't notice them when they initially walked in.
Mm-hmm.
But then I turned my back and towards the back, and I see them, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I go back there and I said, "I just fucking told you no. Get the fuck out. They have to go.
Yeah, we're done.
They have to go. What was the point in asking me
Right.
if you were just gonna do it anyways?"
Like, at that point, ask forgiveness, not
Get the hell
permission.
out.
Like, we know it's coming now.
Get the hell out.
One thing I didn't ask you guys, and I wanted to, thieves.
Oh,
People who steal.
Blatant thieves.
Blatant thieves.
I know you have a story about
Absolutely.
your tip jar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which has probably happened more than once.
And we have this video, too.
You have
Yeah,
this on
we
video?
have this whole thing on
beautifully.
video.
There is still an active warrant for this man's arrest. So,
Yes.
yeah, once we post the
We
video.
don't have to name names.
No,
Does this
but-
person live in?
He lives
Yeah.
in Grady County, as
Yeah.
far as we know. There is an active warrant in Grady County for his arrest.
So what happened?
So it was a Saturday night, and
Busy.
it was fairly busy.
Yeah.
And it was the guy who stole our tip jar and a group of his friends that were in here, and they had been in here for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. Had waited on him throughout the night, and then I didn't know this at the time until we went back and looked on the video, but they had been stealing money out of the tip jar at first and then paying for their beers
With the stolen money.
with the stolen money. And then he kind of like grabbed the tip jar at one point, kind of like acting like he was joking about taking it. And I guess one of the other patrons said, no, no, put that back.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts it back. He waits for that patron to walk away, and then boom. There
Please
goes the
note,
tip
he
jar.
tips her.
He tips her with my own tip money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
Tips
him
me
do
with my own
it.
tip money.
Reaches in, gets $4.
Yes.
So he tips her with her tips, pays the $3, and then takes the $1 so she can see it and puts it in her tip jar.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, you knew who this person was at the time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you confronted him via Snapchat?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And-
Because after he waited for the tip jar to fill up, and then he puts it in his hoodie pocket, and they leave. Didn't notice it until the end of the night. Noticed I was one tip jar less than what I had. So then we watched the cameras, figured out who it was, and I messaged him. And I said, hey, we caught you on the cameras, this and that. Well, he calls up here.
Yeah, talk to
Like,
me. And I'm
2
on the
days
phone with
later.
Brittany.
Yeah, she's on her cell phone with me,
Uh-huh.
and then on the
Business
bar
phone,
business
yeah.
phone with him. So I hear the entire conversation, and he's just back and forth on it was only $10 to $15 for one, and it was not.
No, it was
I know how
not.
much money I make on a Saturday night.
And it was a quarter short.
Kiss my ass on
Yeah.
$10 to $15
It is not
for
that.
one. But
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, and then he goes back and forth on, I'm sorry, and I'll bring it back, and I'll pay you the money back, and this and that.
And at this point, we filed a police report. He's telling me all this, and I'm like, hey, man, like, I am sorry. If you had called us the next day and said, hey,
This
I
was
was
2
real,
days later.
I was real fucked up last night. I did something really bad. I'm so sorry. I took this tip jar. We probably would have just been like, all right, man, don't come back.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us our money back. You're not welcome here, but, like, appreciate you.
If that's kind of stupid shit you do when you're drunk,
Right.
you could take that
can just-
elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't want you in my bar. But he ends up, like, comes up with this whole story. This is 2 days later, so I'm like, hey, man, you're just going to have to call Chickasha PD. Like, there's no making it right with me.
Now, didn't he? This is my favorite part of the story. Didn't he get on Snapchat and just basically ratted out everybody? Like,
Yeah.
everyone.
He ratted everybody out, and then the kicker, the icing
yeah.
on top of the cake was maybe about a month or two later. Somebody sends me a screenshot on Snapchat of his Snapchat where he posted that somebody stole like money
Shoes.
and shoes from him.
Yeah.
And he was just going on and on about, really, people are going to fucking steal from me.
I hate thieves. I hate thieves.
Wow, karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch, buddy.
And also, like, that wasn't even close to how much was in that tip jar
No.
either. Not even
No.
close.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've-
So one of these days he'll have a tail light out, a headlight out, something so minuscule.
He's going to get pulled over.
He's gonna get pulled over and then arrested for the warrant that he has for stealing my tip jar.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, girls, I think that's it. We're about out of time. We didn't get to cover everything.
Yeah.
I know. So if you guys want to come back for an episode 2, maybe
We can do that.
That'd be great. Thank you so much for having
Okay,
us.
thank you.
Julie, Brittany,
Yeah.
thank you very much. This
Absolutely.
is the 86 It Podcast, episode 5. Thanks for watching, guys.
Good.
And cut.
Stories I Wish I Didn't Write available on Amazon now. The link is in the description. Audible version coming soon. Thanks for watching.